Hey guys, what's up? It's Robbie here, and we are taking a very in-depth look at No Man's Sky. We're going over survival mechanics, that annoying Atlas Pass, using signal scanners to find shelter, and so much more. Plus, how can I become rich in No Man's Sky? I've got some key tips on how to do that. Also, we're going to be talking about advanced space traveling, finding ships, freeing up your inventory, upgrading, hyperdrives, but I did want to mention to you guys the ultimate community for discussing all of this stuff, and it is the No Man's Sky Amino community. You can find out more about that by following the link in the description below if you just want to hang out with fellow space explorers and discuss all things No Man's Sky from your phone. Download it for free by following the link in the description below. You can also participate in polls, discuss the best tactics to become a mercenary, or perhaps you're more into the trade system. Well, you can find fellow traders out there as well, so check that out in the description below. Join the ultimate No Man's Sky community. And by the way, I'm out there as Star Wars HQ. I'm a huge Star Wars fan. And also, I should mention special thanks to Amino for sponsoring this video and believing in my coverage of No Man's Sky. So yeah, before I dive into this any further, there is a full-blown video guide in the description below to where you can skip ahead to the section you seek. But guys, let's do this. We're going to start out with survival mechanics explained. So basically, you need to manage your suit and oxygen levels by charging with what is called isotopes. These include things like plutonium, power canisters, Thamium-9, I hope I got that right, and much more. You can charge up your oxygen levels, recharge your suit to remain within toxic environments a little bit longer by heading into your exosuit inventory, highlighting over the oxygen or your suit, and pressing X to charge, selecting the resource that you need, and then proceed to charge, and you are good to go. It allows you to basically survive more toxic environments, cold environments, hot environments. So just remember that when you are out on the field hunting down new animals to discover or something like that. Now, signal scanners are awesome. I highly recommend you never ever to neglect these. They are kind of like Assassin's Creed towers in that they reveal key locations such as shelter, drop pods, and so much more. You may even find a rare alien race through these. You can also find invaluable upgrades by using these, but they do require bypass chips. To make a bypass chip, head into your inventory, press square over an empty inventory slot, and build one. It will require plutonium and iron. You'll always want a few of these on you at all times, at least in my opinion, because signal scanners are also great if you are getting lost in the game world. And you know, there's no proper map in No Man's Sky. It's quite easy to get lost, actually. So use those signal scanners to point you in the right direction. In fact, they may point you towards what is called a drop pod, as we see here, which can upgrade your exosuit's inventory space. Trust me, it becomes more and more important as you progress through the game. But Robbie, I want to become the richest man in the galaxy. No, in the universe. Well, there are ways where you can definitely increase your units substantially. Of course, units are going to be your monies in the game. So, yeah, you'll definitely need units to really upgrade to get your hyperdrive up and running and to really continue exploring the galaxy. Plus, they're needed for getting brand new spaceships and weaponry. More on all of these later on in the video. So basically, you're going to want to sell off your rare materials such as the green items in your inventory. These include emeralds, aluminum, iridium, gek, and fascination beads. I highly recommend checking out wintry planets, by the way. Remember this, wintry planets, because I have stumbled upon large emerald deposits on these, which make you rich in seconds. I mean, these give you a ton of monies, guys. But it also seems that emerald might not be limited to just the wintry planets, though I did find a lot more on those winter planets, so maybe I got lucky. I'm not too sure. But I also did stumble upon emerald in the jungle. But they are guarded by creatures. They usually come with swarms of creatures, so you have been warned. Make sure your weapon is upgraded. Again, more on the multi-tool in just a moment. Now, to make money in No Man's Sky, it's important to remember that your game is going to be different from mine. You know, my rare resource right now is definitely emerald, but it might be gold for you. Since this game is procedurally generated, your world, again, will be different from mine. And by the way, the values of your resources and items will change from trade post to trade post, and I've noticed that resources are more valuable at space stations. Heck, you may find some of those common resources becoming very uncommon as you head to a space station. Nice. And also, another way to earn money is to simply upload your discoveries to the server. One planet can earn you as much as 350,000 credits, dependent on the planet size. That unit amount may actually change. And now it's time to begin space traveling. So what do you need to know before you actually venture out into space? Because guys, this is where you can actually get stuck and make some mistakes. You need plutonium big time to keep your launch thrusters charged. And you also need thymium-9 to charge up your pulse engines, which allows you to warp quickly between planets. The hyperdrive, on the other hand, will require warp cells. They are the hyperdrive's fuel and are one of 3 different materials you will need to have a hyperdrive. Warp cells, though, are often required to keep fueling your hyperdrive throughout your space journey, which you can purchase at a trade station, or you can discover a new ingredient blueprint for antimatter to make your own from scratch. Now, how do you discover this ingredient blueprint? Well, this will be discovered after your first hyperdrive jump to a new galaxy. So in other words, you will have to buy your first couple of warp cells from a trade station. But to get the actual blueprint, you will need to seek out a manufacturer building. That comes later in the story after you make your first galaxy jump. So guys, don't panic, just follow along with the story and everything will gradually unravel for you. So to get your hyperdrive up and running, you will need a dynamic resonator, warp cells, and iridium, and then you could build the blueprint, which you will get early in the story. Do not panic, but those are the 3 ingredients you need, and do not sell your iridium at the beginning of the game. I did this and I regretted it, but if you do, you can find iridium through these like blackish blue huge rocks that are around the environment. And of course, the dynamic resonator is sold at trade stations around the world. Just look for one inside of a building or a space station and you will find a dynamic resonator. It's 35,000 bucks. So get some emerald collected, sell it there, and then buy your dynamic resonator for your hyperdrive. So you've stumbled upon your first black hole. Now this is going to come later on in the story. First of all, you've got to get your hyperdrive up and going, and then you have to warp several times throughout the galaxy. At least this is my case. Then you have to speak to a priest, and then you will gain access to black holes. Now, they will be anomalies, and you will be notified of them. Check out all the anomalies in the game, guys. I highly recommend it. Do not ignore these anomalies at all. When you find the black hole, what will you expect when you go through it? Well, black holes act as super fast travel locations. It's a one-way ticket to the center of the universe. It will jump you sometimes 3,000 light years ahead, 10,000 light years ahead, and someone reported that they were able to jump nearly 20 to 30,000 light years ahead to the center of the universe. So it's really your ticket to the end of the game. Don't rush it though, but be warned that there is really no way back. It is a one-way ticket. You want to make sure you are prepped and you are done exploring your current location, and then you could go through your black hole. But one thing you may be wondering is, how do you change up your weapons? Your multi-tool is definitely a multi-tool. So along your journeys, you will come across multi-tool upgrades in buildings around planets. They're pretty random, but make sure you activate these things no matter what, as you will eventually upgrade your weapon to fire proper ammunition against dangerous creatures. And you'll even find the terraforming tool. I believe it's going to be after your first galaxy jump when you have your hyperdrive installed. But if you want to alternate between your mining tool and your actual weapon, press Y to alternate between your mining gun, for example, and bolt caster, so on and so forth. And did you just die? Well, make sure you save often at restore points which are located in space stations and also on planets as beacons, as seen here. If you die, you will end up here again, but get this, you will also lose all of your inventory, but don't panic. You can regain lost items and inventory by finding your grave location, which is actually pretty easy to do. Don't forget to seek out your grave so you can grab all of your lost items. And now it is time to buy a brand new ship. These things can be so expensive, so remember what I told you about how to get rich in No Man's Sky. So you can call in new ships by using the landing pads and waiting at space stations, then approach them and commence talking to the pilot by pressing square. You can trade, sell, and make an offer on a ship, plus compare key differences. If you see a distress signal, you can pursue it and find a damaged ship. If you repair it successfully, it is yours for the taking without even buying it. Now, one of the biggest pains about a game like this one is your inventory space, because it fills up pretty fast in No Man's Sky. Well, you could send items to your ship by pressing Y to free up space in your exosuit. You just need to be very close to your ship. You'll also need a specific item in your ship if you want to upgrade your thrusters or whatever. You need that item in your ship. And I highly recommend you landing your ship close to trade posts to limit to have to travel by foot back and forth, as you are tethered a certain distance from your ship in order to transfer items from your exosuit to your ship and back and forth. So just remember that. Plop your ship down right by a trade post so you don't have to do that. So what about those Atlas passes? You may have been seeing them around as you explore. This cargo box requires an Atlas Pass version 1, or this door requires an Atlas Pass version 2. They are a pain in the butt. Well, basically, you're going to have to use your hyperdrive and warp. I think it's around 3 to 5 times at the beginning of the game. Now, to find an Atlas station, you're going to have to seek out anomalies. You will be notified of an anomaly in the area. Make sure you seek these out 2 to 3 times, and then you will come upon an Atlas station. You will meet a new alien character. He will give you several choices. You will want to continue your journey with the Atlas. That's the journey you want to take. And if you decide that path, you will get an Atlas Pass. And that is how you get your Atlas Passes at Atlas stations. So I hope this video helped you guys out on your journey in No Man's Sky. This game is super deep. I'm having a total blast with it. It's strange because it's a really, really deep game. It seems to be overwhelming, but it's not. It's just like you can get lost, chill, enjoy yourself on the planet. You almost wish you could actually live on some of these planets. It is such a really, just a fun game. Sometimes it's relaxing, then other times you're going to have a swarm of enemies on you. It is such a different experience. And by the way, if you want to join me and talk about No Man's Sky from your phone or your mobile device, go ahead and check out the No Man's Sky Amino community by following the link in the description below. It's free. Hang out with me. Check it out, guys. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned here for more No Man's Sky. Subscribe if you want more, and I will see you guys in space.